All right, today we're going to dive into this really powerful parable, one inspired by Nietzsche's Zarathustra. It's a story about a stage, three very different characters, and, well, the whole point of creating anything at all.
And really, everything we're about to talk about boils down to this one single massive question. I mean, whether you're an artist or an entrepreneur or you're just trying to live a life that feels meaningful, this question is at the heart of it all. So let's see how Zarathustra's little story tries to answer it.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Act 1. The story kicks off with Zarathustra standing on a hill. He's got this crowd gathered around him, artists, directors, creators of all kinds, and he's about to drop a major truth bomb about human ambition. But he's not going to do it with some dry lecture. No, he's going to put on a play.
And on this stage, he introduces three key figures. Now, these aren't just characters in a story. He says they're like mirrors, reflecting this timeless conflict that we all face whenever we try to make something. So let's meet them. The stage manager, the poet, and the merry fellow.
So this is where we get to the real drama of the piece, Act 2. It's this head-on collision between two totally opposite ways of thinking about creation. And as we're about to see, both of them are, well, they're both kind of flawed. It's a classic showdown, the practical versus the profound.
And here they are, laid out for us, clear as day. You've got the stage manager on one side, who's all about that immediate roar of the crowd. And then on the other side, you've got the poet, who's dreaming of getting approval from some imaginary audience in the future that he'll never even meet. I mean, these are two pretty common paths, right? But are they really the only options we have?
All right, so let's break down our first character, the stage manager. This guy is the spirit of pure utility. He thinks in numbers, in metrics, in audience size, and mass appeal. Think about the modern pressure for blockbuster numbers, for viral hits, for likes and engagement. For him, success is just a number on a spreadsheet.
And his own words really paint the clearest picture. He's shouting, "Give me much happening, a broad canvas." He wants to stun the crowd, not make them think. It's all about the big, flashy, easily digestible show.
And then you have his total opposite, the poet. If the manager is all about serving the crowd, the poet is all about serving his own ego. He totally rejects the here and now. He hates the marketplace, and he creates for this imaginary elite audience somewhere off in the future. He's the kind of artist who is, as the text puts it, too proud to be human.
You can just hear the contempt in his voice, can't you? Away with the rabble. He scoffs at the vulgarity of the present moment. He's completely focused on this dusty, theoretical idea of immortality, a legacy that's totally disconnected from the vibrant, messy life that's happening all around him.
So, okay, we've got these two extremes, right? Commerce versus art. The now versus the later. But the parable just stops and makes us ask, is that it? Is this really the only choice? There has to be another way, doesn't there?
And this is where our third act begins, and our hero, maybe an unlikely one, bursts onto the stage. The merry fellow arrives, and he's got the key. He's here to show us a completely different path, a third way that can resolve this whole conflict.
His whole philosophy is what's called the Dionysian spirit, and what that means is a total, radical, full-throated yes to life itself. It's not about profit like the manager, and it's not about some dusty old legacy like the poet. It's about saying yes to life in this very moment with all its chaos, all its joy, all its glory. It's about not just making art, but actually becoming art.
And his message? It's just this passionate call to action. Use the whole world. Seize this moment. He's not trying to capture life in a book. He wants to live it. He sees the entire world as his stage, and he knows the absolute best performance is the one you are actively participating in, right here, right now. So how do you actually do this? How do you live this philosophy? Well, it kind of breaks down into three simple principles. Number 1, seize the moment. You're only here once. Number 2, embrace the chaos, the hurly-burly of life. And number 3, and this is the big one, live the play. Stop being a spectator in your own existence. And that brings us to the final piece of wisdom from this whole story, the big takeaway. The ultimate goal isn't to create some great performance for other people to sit back and watch. It's to become the performance yourself. And this just brilliantly shines the light on the huge mistake that both the stage manager and the poet are making. One is chasing market success, the other is chasing historical salvation. See the pattern? They're both looking for their purpose outside of the act of creation itself. They're missing the most essential truth. In life, there are no spectators, only participants.
This is what leads us right to Nietzsche's famous idea of the overman. The overman isn't looking for an audience. Not now, not in the future. They embody that spirit of the merry fellow, finding meaning in the joyful, dangerous, and very, very human act of being the performance, moment by glorious moment.
So Zarathustra's message becomes crystal clear, doesn't it? It's basically a commandment for how to create and really how to live. Don't be the manager who just panders to the crowd. Don't be the timid poet who hides away. Be the merry fellow.
Yeah, it really all just boils down to this one final powerful command. Say yes to the chaos, embrace the glorious messy rush of just being alive, and create yourself, right here on this earth, right now. Plunge into the thick of it. And so, that leaves us with one final question to ask ourselves about our own lives. As you go about your work, your art, your day-to-day, which role are you playing? Are you the manager, chasing success? The poet, dreaming of a legacy? Or are you the merry fellow, actually living the play itself?